This is Ryan Mack, your host of Main Street, the show that's helping individuals get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the jobs. We are trying to shift the conversation, not only talk about politics, but also focus on those individuals and institutions and organizations doing tangible things to help the community. And welcome here. We have a very special guest here today. We have Jimmy Settles, Vice President of UAW-Ford, who is doing some phenomenal things, and as far as I'm concerned, exemplifies exactly what we are here to focus on: how to help people get jobs, how to help people create jobs, and how to help people also manage their money from the jobs. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Now, UAW-Ford, as far as I'm concerned, has probably been one of the every time I turn around, I'm always hearing something about UAW-Ford. I mean, I guess I want to get into exactly what the union is all about, but I want to hear a little bit from your leadership perspective. Why does UAW-Ford do so much in the community to help empower the community in which their members live?
Well, I knew that from day one, if I ever was blessed to be in a position to have a vision and also to surround myself with qualified people. And part of my vision was to always work in a community. And I mean, it's not probably something I've been doing all my life, but obviously I have more resources now. And it's more glaring now what we do. But traditionally, ever since I've been in the union, I've been trying to do something to help in the community.
And you have, I'm always bragging about the fact that I saw a chess team that to me was, it just floored me that I saw a whole group of students who were national chess champions. I mean, we can't talk about economics if you don't talk about education, and these are national champions of all of the country, right here in the city of Detroit. And these are students that UAW-Ford is actually mentoring and bringing them up. Where did that come from, and how did that come about?
But you know what? I'm really glad you asked that question because I don't play chess. My kids played it when they were young. But about 16 years ago, I was approached by a young lady and asked me to meet a gentleman by the name of Kevin Fight. And that's really how it started. And I tell you, very, very interesting story about that. Kevin Fight had started this chess team at Durfee High School. And I said, man, where? Junior high, I'm sorry, not high school, junior high. And I went to visit him, and I seen what he was doing to these kids, and how they not only attached themselves to chess, but also educationally what it was doing. All of it, their grades went up because of chess. And I never forget when they first started, they were not that good. And in a year or two, they got very, very good. And I remember they qualified to go to the Nationals in Denver, Colorado. And they were like $25,000 short of going. And a gentleman that he's now deceased that was working with Mr. Fight put up his credit card. I'll never forget a phone call that he gave me. He said, Mr. Settles, I'm going to put this on my credit card because I know that you're going to be able to raise the money and pay my credit card. I had never met him.
Wow.
And, so we're going to these Nationals and we're going to win it. And they went to Nationals. I don't know if they came in third place, but they did a very good job. And I never forget worrying how in the heck I would get this money. And this guy would have it. I called all around the city for friends of mine, and when he got back, we were able to raise the money. And the rest of it is just real history. And Kevin Fight has continued to do it, and along the way, we've been a part of his association for the last 16 years. And it's probably one of the program that I'm most proud of because you can see the growth in kids.
I mean, I sat at the table with these kids. They had 3.5, 3.6, 3.9, and they were all so articulate. They were all, I mean, I said, these are the future leaders of the city, and again, in a large part, and no small part, because of what UAW-Ford is doing.
Yeah, and these are kids that are not from, some are from affluent families, but a lot of them, that are not, they are from the neighborhood. One team in particular that Kevin Fight just started about 4 years ago, Samson Weber, is in a very, very challenged area. And those kids are just phenomenal. And what chess does, and chess, I think, is it's really the root or the seed that give kids not only confidence, because they learned that when they first come in, they don't even know how to set up a chessboard. So, and I think that parlays into their academics. Matter of fact, I don't think it, I know it.
It does, yeah. And so you all help individuals in the community. You're all doing different things, but you also help your members on a day-to-day basis as well, because I've talked to a lot of the members of UAW-Ford that are very proud at the level of advocacy that UAW-Ford continues to do on a day-to-day basis. What are some of the things that you are doing every single day to make sure that you are empowering individuals who are in your membership?
Well, I'd like to take credit for all the positive things, but that wouldn't be right, and it wouldn't be true. What I try to do, I got a talented staff that I have the pleasure of working with, and you give the vision, you motivate, and really they go out here and do the work. I mean, we developed a news a magazine that comes out. It actually was going to come out 3 times a year. Now it comes out 6 or 7 times a year, where we highlight our members and things that they do in the community. Our slogan is that we don't only build cars, we build communities. So not only do we highlight that, but on a day-to-day basis, we service our members. I'm very proud to say during my tenure that we have grown our membership over 20,000 members. We're the largest sector in the UAW. Nobody has grown their sector more than we have done it at the UAW-Ford. So I say to say this, we not only service, we not only do wonderful things in the community. We have crews all through 6 states that go out and build homes, build ramps to help our handicapped. So we think it goes hand in hand. And I really got to applaud Ford Motor Company too, because they have been partners in some of our community events that we do. So. We try to do it all. That's what we're here for.
And so talk about some of the advantages of being a part of UAW-Ford, because many individuals are very narrow-minded. They don't know the full scope of what the union actually does to empower the individual. Talk about some of the services that you're providing for your members every single day.
Well, we provide a litany of things, not only job protection, not only do we negotiate for their wages, but also health, safety, environment. But also, we understand that there are other things that need to be done educationally. Educationally, we provide some monies for education, for tuition. We provide outstanding benefits for not only our members, but also for their family. We provide, as much as we possibly can, job security. We also are very strong advocates in the community. Not only that we care about ourselves, we care about those in the community. We are involved in politics, because we believe that we should be advocates for those that cannot speak for themselves, and give leadership where we can. So we do everything that everybody else does,
And so from your perspective, I was raised by unions, and so I guess I could be biased, but from your perspective, how impactful is UAW and the union as a whole, and how necessary is it for the economy as a whole?
Well, I think it's very necessary. Let me just tell you from my life experience. I'm the 2nd generation trade unionist, but the one thing and it's not what I actually thought I was going to do when I grow up, everything but this. But what really inspired me to be a trade unionist is because I don't care what race, creed, or color you come in, you are. When you come in, you're making the same amount of money as everybody else, whether you're male or female. And you have the same protections as everybody else. And just in a nutshell, that's what a union is about, is just treating people equally, equal pay, equal treatment. And also, part of the union function is to make certain that we can try to bring everybody else up, in society. We are also been one that we're very strong advocates back in the day about Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, all these social programs that you have now. If you research it, it was the union that really fought for that. I never forget in my readings, when we first started talking about Social Security, they started saying that was something that socialists and communists did. Just like what President Obama did with the health care, that they tried to say that was something that, here you go, the socialists trying to do the right thing for people, and as you can see, I'm trying to dismantle it today, and I think that's something that's un-American. We talk about protecting people and have people having health care, and now as we can see, 45 is trying to reverse that, and with no replacement. You know, and the country is not outraged about it. And union had been in the forefront of drum major of those type of activities, and that. I mean, as we're in Black History Month. I mean, Civil Rights Movement. In particular, the UAW was in the forefront of this. Martin Luther King had visited us many, many times. As a matter of fact, our building down the street, the Dave Miller building, is where it was said that he penned "I Have a Dream" speech. Because matter of fact, I was blessed to be there with my dad in 1963. The first time he ever did it was right here in Detroit. I know it became popular in Washington, D.C., but it was those type of movements that the UAW has been at the forefront of.
And so there was a meeting that I was involved with that I was really thankful that you all invited me to, because there has been a concern from many members that technology is eliminating jobs. But you all had the foresight to bring in MIT to have a very candid and a frank discussion about exactly how you can actually benefit and use and make sure that your members will be prepared to make sure they have the right skill set. Talk a little bit about that meeting with MIT, and then also talk about your perspective of how technology is impacting the lives of working people today.
Yeah, let me just take the latter first. I think, we can't run from technology. It's here to stay, and in many instances it makes life better. But also it produces some jobs that are not existing today. And really that's with the partnership with MIT. I really stumbled into it. I really went to MIT on another subject about urban planning, and through this meeting, I met some people, and they were telling me, and I really thought those intellectuals were not really concerned about working people, and they really shocked me, because they were. We spent a whole day with them, and they were saying, convinced me that you need to be in front of this, and from that point on, I've been working hand in hand with them, and I think it's very, very important. I mean, we look at what's happening in the city of Detroit today. A lot of people knew that this growth was going to be here. Now we need an abundance of skilled tradesmen. And we don't have enough skilled tradesmen with all this unemployment in the city of Detroit to get them the jobs, because they're not qualified.
Right.
And I think that some of our leaders did not have the vision prior to, or didn't want the vision, whichever. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in today with all the unemployment. We should have been training people, because we've seen this shortage coming a long time ago.
What do you think is the shortcoming? Where did people fall short in seeing this? And I guess what gave you the passion to be so much on the front end of it?
Well, because you know what, like my kids say, the only reason I got the vision I got now because I'm so old.
Right.
Because I've seen this before. I've seen this happen before. I remember in the 60s, same thing happened then. There was a lot of shortage of skilled trades. There was the time doing automation, and they needed a lot of skilled trades, and people weren't not really qualified. And also I think it was a big myth out there. If you notice, some years ago, our leaders were saying that manufacturing is gone, that we're going to be a service industry. But those same people that are in power, I think, always want to make sure we're not ready for the next revolution and next change. And, we had the crisis we are today. And also, I think, too, if you look at, especially in the city of Detroit, our educational system, we are not getting adequate education. Our kids, you talk about chess are not taught in school. We have schools that don't even have music or art. That don't have gym, don't have recreation, and I think it's criminal. I'm just reading the other day at Mufford, they said 60% of their kids are not at 8th grade level, reading level. And but nobody, not enough people outraged about it. And then they wonder why we're not qualified for the jobs, because we don't have the proper education. You got classrooms with 40, 50 people, with 40 kids in it, and not getting the opportunity to get off some of that energy. Right. To do something different. In school, nothing to make your mind more creative. And that's what the arts do, in my opinion. And we don't have that. So, those are some of the negatives. And that's why we at UAW-Ford, we run Saturday at the D. We have over 1,000 kids every Saturday. for probably 42 weeks out of 52. They have something to do at 3 schools, and we go from 9 to 2. Some are academic, and some of it is athletic, and some of it is in the arts. And so I think, what we have to do as citizens, not only talk about the problem, try to resolve the problem. We had a program we ran where we were able to do a lot of hiring where we have our returning citizens. We ran classes to teach them how to pass a test, let them know what they need to do when they do come to work. And I think we just need to be proactive when we can. I'm not one that would just want to just talk about the problem. I want the solution. And I think that's what, I've been blessed to have a team. That's what we do. We try to find solutions. We do a lot of mentoring. Yeah.
And so how does one get involved? I mean, there's a lot of ways to be involved, whether it be getting your students involved or your children involved in Saturday at the D, or actually trying to get signed up and be a member of UAW-Ford. How does one get involved and support your efforts or reach out to you and become a part of UAW-Ford?
Well, simply just call us. We're listed, 313-926-5392. And, we try to, do as much as we can. Obviously, we can't do everything, but we, if we can't do it ourselves, at least we can put you in another direction. But one that wants to join the union, call us. We can definitely help in that aspect.
And lastly, I can't let you get away as a community leader, as someone who's looked up to the community for so many years, so many decades doing the work at actually helping individuals like me to become larger. And I stand on your shoulders, and many other individuals can say the same. I have to ask you, what advice would you give to, as you always do, to a young man or young woman even, who would like to have the same level of impact? What advice would you say that who's coming up in the next generation to give them some food for thought to help them make the same, or at least make a part of the impact that you're making on the community today?
Well, I'll tell anyone, to never let anybody kill your dreams. I never, it was time that when I got involved and when I'm in now, I always wanted to be in a position. There was times I never thought I'd be there, but it didn't stop me from doing whatever little I could do. I used to coach baseball, and I even have kids. When I look back through my life, it's just that I always had this vision, I always had this dream, and maybe it never got to the level until now that I wanted to. I never stopped helping people because I understood that people helped me. I would not be in a situation. I was blessed. I had a solid middle-class family. I had a mother and father at home. But I know that, it took many, many people to make me whatever I am today, or to keep me right, because my mother and father were with me every minute. But I know when I was 2 blocks away, there was somebody there that always had a kind word or made certain I didn't do the right thing. So I guess if I had to tell him, don't let anybody kill your dreams. Just dream on and do on. I mean, more than just dreaming. Work every day toward what you want to be, and it may not be that thing that you do at that moment, but you have something large in life that you're going to do later on, and maybe in another direction.
Well, I want to say I thank you for being a bridge, not a gatekeeper, but a bridge for the people, and making sure that other individuals can stand on your back and go on to something greater. And you've been doing that and setting an example. And I just want to say thank you for your time today, and thank you for all the work you've been doing for the community.
And thank you for having me here today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Have a great day.
All right, you too now.
All right.